Pro mode on your phone camera, explained in 3 minutes. Pro or manual mode allows you to adjust the settings of your camera. Different phones have different options, but the core three, shutter, ISO and focus, they are present everywhere. Shutter speed. It means the time your camera is exposed to light. I'm talking fractions of a second. If the number is smaller, less light comes in your image. But even if you move, even if you jerk a little when tapping the phone, the image won't be blurry because the camera shoots it very quickly. On the opposite side, the camera feels like 2010 as you move it into place, but your image will be very well lit if you manage to stay still. This is precisely the reason daylight photos are usually crisp and night mode images can easily have motion blur when you shoot. If you can't get enough light into your image just with the shutter speed, you can also adjust the ISO. That's basically how sensitive your camera is to the light. The higher the ISO, the more light you get. But as opposed to the shutter speed, here you lose quality as you increase the ISO and the image becomes grainy. You can shoot a quick image that is a bit grainy with the ISO high and the shutter just briefly opened, and the same image with a low ISO and the shutter open for a long time. ISO and shutter speed are in close correlation. Usually, you want to keep the ISO as low as possible to prevent quality loss and play with the shutter speed. That is for outdoor photos where you have ample light. If you want to capture moving objects, you might need to compensate with the ISO in order to take the image quickly and prevent blur. In low light though, you need to increase the ISO if you want to make the image decently lit. There is also this thing called long exposure, where everything is still except the light source. It moves and creates interesting patterns. Actually, taking photos is all about light, and these two options are practically the only thing you need to adjust. Automatic focus almost always works, though you could experiment with it. Another thing connected to light that some phones have is white balance. This adjusts the temperature of the image with an orange tint or a blue tint appearing. Another thing my phone has is exposure compensation. If you leave it up to the camera to decide what settings to use, you can add or remove light with one dial. You could also use RAW. This is when you want to bypass the camera post-processing and do it in an editor manually afterwards. So this is Pro Mode explained in 3 minutes. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe for more interesting videos.